Are we recording? Are we live?
They'll give us a thumbs up if we're ready to go. Okay.
Cool. Good. Okay. So we're being recorded tonight, both video and audio. And I apologize for the lateness of the start of our meeting. We had a few logistical issues that caused a delay tonight. So we've called the meeting to order. And any changes to the agenda?
None.
Okay, we'll adopt the agenda as presented. Any comments on the minutes of the previous meetings?
Yes.
Okay.
Fourth page.
Okay.
And under comments, there's there. Under commissioner comments, I thought there should be an S on chief. Chiefs Gatterman and Simmons.
Okay. At that?
That's the only thing I.
Okay, any other things? Anything else? Anything else? Going once? Twice? Okay, I'll make a motion. We approve the agenda as presented with that one change.
I say that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, EMS, job description, EMS office.
Oh, wrong agenda. That was last meeting.
$323.
We're at 518.
Let's see. April 20, you're right. Yeah, how'd that happen? Talk about logistical errors. Okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're at financial accounts payable and payroll.
I had a question on page 133.
Which bill is it?
Well, I was wondering who a person was that's listed there.
Okay. What's the bill?
I don't remember what it was.
It's Verizon,
It's Verizon.
I believe. Yeah. Page 133 of 176 is Verizon.
My pages aren't.
Although there's no names on the page, so I don't.
I'm at here.
So she did double check.
Yeah, it's 133. There's somebody who has a pager or a cell phone, and I wasn't familiar with this person.
I've got the Verizon.
So you're on page
133.
I'm
I'm not.
Which
your
page?
page 133 is different than my page 133.
He's an old employee.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's not an employee now.
What's the?
Or
Okay, but so that's on like page 3 of the Verizon bill.
I don't know what.
Look at the typewriter.
No, 11 of 40 it says.
Yeah,
11?
11 of 40.
So the thing about Kirk being on one of those, which rig it
I'm
is,
looking at 1140, it looks completely different than mine.
It probably just his name on the account, not
Yeah.
actual.
so
Oh, there.
yeah, when Kirk set up the cell phones for the vehicles, his name was typically on them. So the vehicles still got the phone, but Kirk's not involved. We obviously need to get that changed off of there. I didn't know this was so old.
Well, that was one nice thing of having all those things this time. You could see some of the,
Well,
like this,
yeah.
I wonder
Yeah.
what it's about.
okay, we need to go through that, revisit that. Because we don't even know if all those vehicles are still the same numbers.
I think on a couple of them.
Is it?
I mean, that's just because they were extra added in for vehicles and whatever, and USBs and all that stuff. Yeah.
We'll get that updated.
Any other questions about accounts payable or payroll?
I was also looking at broke down the fuel we were getting at the co-op and over at Nelson.
Uh-huh.
And I thought we were trying to go more for Nelson at
Well,
one point.
as convenient.
And only the 8 cars go over there.
Only the eight,
Only the 3 graders have all cars, yeah, and the shop trucks. So.
Yeah.
not the other vehicle.
The engines, no, we won't take the engines over there out of service. That's out
The
of the
ambulance is
service.
going to come back to the hospital if they're low at that point.
Right. And then I noticed that out at 42, we have a new cell phone provider, or another Wave.
It's waiting.
Wave.
They've been there for a few months, yeah.
They took over from Frontier, right?
They were able to provide us the access that we needed. Frontier couldn't.
Oh, okay.
High speed went all the way
High
out, past, all the way out to where I'm going right now, way out there. So they brought high speed up.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's much faster than
Oh, that's good.
what's being
And
provided.
then Frontier got bought out. You'll see a new name, Frontier got bought out. There's a
Yeah, they're like, it's a funny name.
Ziply.
Yeah.
I saw that bill, I was like, huh, probably a scam.
So Wave is up on the hill now?
Yeah, wave is up, wave goes all the way out to, we don't have 3 weeks.
Okay,
Those are the questions I had, so
okay, any others?
I have no question on the payroll either. So I move we approve the accounts payable and the payroll.
I'm saying that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, fire chief retirement. Okay.
Well, we started this conversation last meeting and we didn't talk about deadlines or anything. So basically I wanted to get this out to you guys to see, number one, if you had any questions. I'm open to discussions.
So I don't have any questions. I think I'd like to go over a couple of things first before we open or before we continue the discussion. And that is that there are certain things that need to be done in the transition between current fire chief and future fire chief. And those things kind of fall into 2 categories, and they overlap a little bit. First of all, the chief runs the department and handles all the promotions and hiring and all that good stuff with the approval of the board, of course. And all the stuff within the budget and within the guidelines. And so within our policies that are written and reported. During this time, the chief's responsibility to the board is to provide recommendations on personnel changes, if any need to be made, on an analysis of individuals so that we could make a decision, a more informed decision. And then it's up to the board to define a plan based on those recommendations and based on what we know and think. And then to approve that plan. And so, so as we discuss this, there's several elements. One of the just more mundane elements is there's a whole bunch of legal stuff that has to be done. There's the transition that's, getting current chief off with signatures and new people on to take his place, the new secretary for the board meetings. A lot of just stuff that it's just a lot of paperwork.
Right.
There's a lot to do during a transition. And so there's a lot of discussions that need to happen between the board and personnel, among the board members themselves, and between the current chief of the board. And so that's what, although we've started this discussion before, tonight I think is really the first major jump into all those areas.
Really, and that's why I made this two different ad issues. Number one, to have an opportunity for you guys to ask me any questions about what we've already worked on. Well, and I shouldn't put it that way, because that's the second ad issue. And I've got some documents to show you. Some of this falls into the discussion that we're going to have during executive session. I do have recommendations to make. I do have suggestions as far as moving forward. As far as the operations of moving forward, we've been doing this, we've been talking about this for about 6 weeks. You know, the business office is going to continue to operate. The main question that's going to come down to you gentlemen is, who do you want to be the lead? That's really it. We've had discussions about the office. We've had discussions about other personnel. And so a lot of these things, basically, once you come to a conclusion, sometime next month, hopefully everything will just kind of flow to where we've already got some guidelines established. Because that's what I'm hoping for. So, so that's why I wanted to open this up with, you guys have any questions to me about what Jim and I have already talked about with regard to my timeline for the next couple of months. If not, we can move right into the business stuff. Those are also going to be decisions that we need some help on filling out what you would like to see.
You are going to be gone all of July.
I will come back for meetings. I'm going to have to come back for legal stuff. These guys will be able to contact me at any time if I need to come back for EMS office stuff, policy stuff, whatever. But that is the plan.
So would it be important for us to have somebody in particular be the point person for all of our legal issues?
No. No, right now, the only legal issues are the ones that you are aware of that we discussed, and they are going to have direct contact with me. As far as anything else, that's going to be one of the business issues that I want to talk about here in a minute. To me, that's a black and white thing. That should be pretty simple. But, yeah. Otherwise, July should be no different than me being gone for a weekend. The staff knows what they're supposed to do. Town chiefs know how to pass it up. These guys know their jobs. And so it'd be no different than if I'm just gone for a long weekend or something. Should be no difference. Anything else? We'll go on to the business stuff. So I listed here just a couple of the things that we really do need to get taken care of. The number one issue, district secretary. We did this way back when Evan's dad was here. Evan's dad did it, I think, in the late 80s, is he made himself the district secretary. A lot of departments, as I put in the ad issue, a lot of departments are doing it because it only makes sense for the chief to have direct contact with the chair or the board members and not have a third party to work through. And if that's the way you want to continue to do it, we have the ad issue ready to, or we have the resolution ready to go. It'll just be at some point, we have to put somebody's name on it, and they have to be sworn in just like a commissioner, and that document needs to be recorded at the county. So I don't think you make that decision till the meeting of the 15th or the last meeting of the month. But that's something that we are going to have a conversation about again. One of the recommendations I'm going to make to you tonight is that you guys have private conversations with both chiefs at one point in the next couple of weeks or tonight or whenever. And collectively, I think you're probably going to have an executive session where you guys just talk amongst yourselves about what do you think is important to do next. And obviously that's if you think that's a necessity, but the three of you should have that conversation. The other thing, referring to what Commissioner Flass said, the agent received claims, the legal stuff. I talked to Brian today, well, I did talk to him, I emailed back and forth with Brian today, because this is what I kind of figured. 3-4 years ago, we made me the claims agent. That's something by law, we're supposed to put in a resolution. So that just means that if somebody walks in here with a legal claim or a lawsuit, that I'm the only one that can receive it. The ladies can't receive it, I have to do it. What happened with the last two is there's too much legalese there. And the average fire chief, unless he's a lawyer, doesn't understand it. What you guys can do is you can make our general legal counsel your claims agent. So any lawsuit, anything legal that needs to come to the department goes right to Brian. And my recommendation to you is that's the way I think we should do it. That way he reads it, he can interpret it, he can come back to you guys and say, this is what this means. So that's just something to throw out to you guys. The signing authority, as I put here on the ad issue, that's a no-brainer. Mike and I can sign for the district issues right now. Dawn just needs to be added to that. I went through, Brian's got a list of general resolutions the district should have in effect. One of those is called Advanced Travel Directive. And I thought we had it. I'm not really sure we do, but over the years, we've kind of established what the law says is that we established an advanced travel resolution where we can pay people to go out from the district and for fuel, for food and for lodging and that kind of stuff. There has to be an amount signed to it. We have an amount, it's $2,000. And then somebody has to be that custodian. It's been me since I've been chief. The problem is we can't find the original resolution. So it's got to be at least 25 years old. Brian just sent me the updated language. I'm just going to rewrite that total resolution. We'll put it in. And then at some point, you guys need to decide who you want to be that advanced travel custodian. Right now, as we're configured, I would recommend that Mike be that advanced travel custodian. It's just dealing with that checkbook and with those funds. So that would be make the most sense. Unless, of course, you don't leave Mike in that position and somebody else takes over all the funds issues. And then the final real issue is we're going to have to change signatures on the banks. So at some meeting here in the near future, when we're talking about some of these resolutions, we'll just add it into the minutes. These are the people, and what Mike and I need to do is list who's doing what right now. But we'll list in the minutes who's doing what for banking. I know Sherry's on there, Mike's on there, I'm on there.
Banks.
And that's right, we got different banks. And then Christina's on there, right? The four of us. So Dawn's going to have to be on there. You don't have to say anything about me because when I leave, they just automatically take me off after these guys do their paperwork. So
It has to be in the minutes so we can take
it has to be in the minutes. That's all. Approved minutes is all they do. They don't need a resolution. So those are just 5 things that we need to work through. I have them listed out on the next 3 agendas to make sure we get all the paperwork done. And so it shouldn't be an issue, but I wanted to put it on your list so you know what we got to take care of over the next 4 meetings. So, any questions about that stuff?
Is there somebody that signs also for things for the county?
Thanks for the county.
Yeah.
There's a payroll set
Oh,
aside
yeah.
for the county for payroll and AP, and that's done once a year through them, so.
Well, and we'll do an update. That's not that big a deal because you guys have nothing to do with that. That's an administrative thing through finance. So basically it boils down to Don signing a piece of paper that says he'll pick this up or he'll sign for this or whatever. That's not a big deal. And one of the things I'll show you is Don and Mike and I had a meeting last week. I've been trying to get through all of the issues that need to be worked through. And so I've got a copy of that I'll let you guys take a look at. We're adding to it. It had something come up yesterday that I forgot, so yeah, we're adding to it. I got 3 pages of it. Anything else?
Are you going to, like, the next meeting, have all these issues, kind of just bullet lines or something like that?
Well, no, so next meeting, the only thing we'll do next meeting is we'll probably just do the resolution to make him a signatory for district issues. And then the following, and unless, of course, you guys think you're going to be satisfied with some of these issues, I don't think you're going to decide, I don't think you'll probably decide by next meeting, by the June 1st meeting, who you want to be the interim or the fire chief. It's probably not going to happen. So we shouldn't do the board, or the district secretary thing till the last meeting in June, till the 29th. We should probably hold on to that. Receiving claims, if you guys think that you would rather have Brian Stewart be our receiving agent, that's an easy one. I can put his name on it, get his approval letter, and you guys can sign that on June 1st too. You like that idea?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll get that worked out with Brian, and we'll do that one on June 1st as well. And then the advanced travel custodian, maybe you guys wait and have your conversations with Mike and Dawn, and you make a decision after you have that conversation. Because we could do virtually anybody for this. A lot of departments do their training officers, so it could be great. It is a accounting issue, so if Mike stays with the finances, it would probably make most sense to leave it with Mike. If not, then we just pass it off to Greg and just tell him what his new duties are going to be. So, but we can hold off on that one. That's not that important right now. Okay? Right. I'll move on to comments.
Any other questions? Any other discussion you'd like to have regarding any of that stuff? Then we will move on to fire chief.
There was something in here about being consulting. That's something. with-
Oh, yeah, we'll discuss that. That's going to be something we're going to discuss later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone might-
Right.
Yes. So fire chief comments.
So, one of the things that we had on our schedule before all this COVID stuff hit was maintenance person. After discussing it with Mike and Dawn over the last few weeks, they feel that one of the important things to move forward through the summer would be how to get this person in place if we have a viable candidate. So tomorrow and Wednesday, we're going to interview the 4 people that applied. Once we get that done, then we'll come up with a plan and come back to you and say, okay, this is who we're going to hire. And Mike, did we already have a pay scale for that person?
Well, we did.
I thought we did too, but I can't remember. Do you remember it?
I remember seeing that.
Okay, so we don't know exactly what we're going to be doing, but we should know by Thursday. Okay.
Good.
We have been working, Dawn and Neil, Mike and I have been working extensively on getting this EMS office thing going. Brian, quite frankly, really quickly put together an interlocal agreement that makes sense. He talked us into a simple, basically what it's going to boil down to is we've proposed that we contract with the EMS Council and the Chiefs Association to run the office. Doesn't do anything more because they have the money, they're going to pay for it. And quite honestly, it gives us the opportunity to have somebody extra in case, like for instance, we got Sam going out. It gives us somebody extra to refer to in case we have some office work. So we can probably cross-train that person a little bit. Anyway, the ILA or the draft should be done tomorrow or Wednesday. And I was in contact with the Chiefs Association and the EMS Council today. The hope is that we can get everything done before the June 1st Chiefs meeting. They can vote on it and we'll start putting the office together. They've got the funds, and actually their chair was antsy to start buying stuff for the office, and we said, I'm out until we get this settled. Let's not have you go out and buy stuff and start putting it in the station. So we got them kind of on hold.
Okay.
But that's moving along.
So is South County still holding that position?
Till May 31st, or till May 31st. They gave that employee, notice that as of May 31st, that person would no longer be an employee for them. And they've given everybody else notice that they're not sustaining the office after May 31st. That's what's going on right now. As of when? Friday? Sam.
Yeah.
It's pretty much Friday. Sam's probably done. She's not sleeping at night. She's having a hard time getting around. She was in here last Thursday and she's looking big. And so, yeah, I think she's done. I guess I'd be surprised if she didn't have a baby this week. But Christine's happy. She's confident. Well, with the exception of this pile of paper. She said to me today, she says, we're going to move forward. So I think she'll be fine. And Christine has been helping her out, making sure the little detail stuff gets taken care of. So I think we're going to be fine there. If you by chance looked on the website or on the Facebook page, last week we took a delivery of four pallets of Powerade from Coca-Cola. Basically, they're delivering to all the departments in Snohomish County, whatever they want. And it's for our use on scenes. And so, we're overstocked with Powerade. But last week we took delivery for 2 lunches from Wiener Schnitzel. I never had a Wiener Schnitzel before, but that was something. We've had 2 different days where Trails End brought us lunch. Chris's Sandwiches from downtown brought us lunch. So we're kind of keeping a list, and at some point we'll start posting lists of those people that have brought stuff by. The 4x4 ambulance is at Braun. They finally got their ducks in a row down there, and we're able to schedule us in to do the drug cabinet and the cold cabinet in that ambulance. That's the only rig we didn't have that we could put those kinds of drugs in. So we're hoping by the end of this week it'll be done. Their biggest issue was trying to figure out how they were going to put the cold cabinet together, but it sounds like they had one in stock. So short order, we'll get that done pretty quickly. Last thing is, you may have been watching on the news about false unemployment claims. We're not immune. Actually, Mike filed one last week. Mike's on unemployment right now. And unfortunately, we got a claim today that I was sad to see because it was for Sharon Wilson. Yeah. So Christina said she's getting about 5 a week for the last couple of weeks. And the only thing that we can figure is the Primera thing that occurred last year where they lost a bunch of data. We're all Primera customers. So that's the only thing we could figure. She called the number on the unemployment page today that said, call this number, and it was disconnected. So she's going to try and find somebody at unemployment that we can talk to see if we're.
Don't they have a problem?
We
Well, that was the line.
actually worked it out later. There's an employer fraud line where she fills out stuff. There's an employee fraud line that I found that you fill out stuff, and I did. And there's a step you're supposed to tell your HR, let ESD know, file a report with the police, and then let the FTC know. And the FTC is very basic questions unless you have a lot of proof or have already seen identity theft happen. They don't have much for you, but they give you some links and stuff like that. So we're starting to get that ready to go out to the guys that are receiving this stuff, or at least post it for our guys.
So let me see, who was today? Aaron Hammer was today. John Witherow, Scott Deaver,
Sharon and somebody else.
Sharon, and there was somebody else. Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
That means somebody has the information.
Well, and my daughter works for the cancer care, I think she's a nurse or whatever, and they have a bunch of their employees have gotten it too.
Yeah, Mike's came on Friday. So, yeah.
I know, I've been unemployed for 6 weeks and just got in 6 weeks. ending 3 weeks ago and just got my money this morning.
So, anyway. So we'll get we're gonna continue to work on that. There's gotta be a reason we're getting so many. It just doesn't make any other sense than the
Yeah,
premier
there's a
thing.
breach somewhere.
Yeah,
Other states are experiencing the same thing. Rhode Island, Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
so that's all I've got.
They all have Premier.
Yeah.
Okay, commissioner comments.
Well, I was told that some computers had come in for us.
He's got them in,
Is that
but
your new one?
I knew it.
Oh,
that one is?
is that your new one?
Oh,
Yeah, I picked it up the other day.
oh,
Supposed
okay.
to do
I
that?
thought he didn't, I didn't hear that they got all figured, or configured. Okay.
I figured the bill would have sent out a message maybe.
Yeah, I think that's what I asked him to do. So we'll talk to Bill. In fact, he's listening, right?
Yeah, they just have to come in when we're here, because they gotta get logged in. I'm on network.
Yeah,
Yada, yada.
and Bill wasn't here when I did that, but he was.
Which I can do, Bill can do it. It's not hard. They just have to be here at the station.
Yeah,
Okay,
just have to set up your password and all that stuff.
Yeah.
okay.
Is that a nice one?
Yeah, I actually really like it, except for one minor thing, which I complained about to Bill and to Don, anybody else that would listen. And that is, it doesn't have touchscreen, but
Oh,
I'll get over it. When I was setting it up, every single time I was supposed to do something, I hit the screen and nothing would happen. But I'm used to it now, so.
okay.
But other than that, it's real nice, yes.
Cool.
Thank you.
Right? Else?
The only comment I had was, again, the letters that we get, there's a couple of letters down there, that praised people for responding. Some of the cards were real good as usual, and there was a particular one, I think it was release letter and recently grew, care of a 17-month-old,
Oh, yeah.
and they even sent pictures in. And then there was a thank you, just a general thank you for all police and firefighters in the district. But some of the comments were really good. It's something that we've always taken pride in as a district. I'm just glad that it's continuing. The people really like us. We've treated really well, and they appreciate it. So thank you to Bruce.
Thank you.
All I had. Anybody else have anything? And then with that, we will adjourn to executive session at 19:48 hours, not to exceed
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah, and no action.
No action. Okay.
So what we're going to do, so that we're not in the camera, we're going to just walk into the other room.